Hi, I'm Louis Ball. This is the Colors of Prog, Season 3, Episode 28. This is the last episode for this season, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the obscure prog I've been talking about and discussing last couple of shows. Moon Safari previously. Coming up, I have a review of a Yes show that was done in New Jersey recently, and there'll be reviews of Prog Stock Day 3, which will have Unitopia Mystery and Patrick Moraz. If not anything else going, Dave Bainbridge and Sally Minier, and probably others. There's so much going on lately. So there's some live reviews, live show reviews coming up, as well as digging deep into all this progressive music I have laying around, newly arrived, recently arrived, and deep in the archives. So today we're going to Italy. The Watch. This Italian band formed in 1997, possibly sooner, as the Night Watch. They were originally a covers band that performed Genesis primarily and some Marillion material. Singer Simone Rossetti's voice even resembles that of Peter Gabriel, same intonation. They released the CD The Night Watch in 1997, I believe, and the 7-tune album, 5 of them at 8 minutes or more. It's a record of all original music, sounding much indeed like Gabriel era Genesis. Francesco Zaga played guitars, Giovanni Elisi keyboards, Antonio Mori bass, and Diego Donadio drums. Shortening their name to The Watch, the band released Ghost in 2001, but only Simone Rossetti remained from the Night Watch lineup. And that's the thing, it's going to be a constant with this band, the singer. Vacuum. Released in 2004, again with another revolving lineup of musicians supporting singer Rossetti, although one of the three co-producers, Sergio Taglioni, contributed piano, organ, mellotron, moog, and more. By what is essentially the third Watch album, performing original music heavily inspired by Peter Gabriel era Genesis, with songs written and composed as if they could have come from The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway or Nursery Crime or Foxtrot. Now, I'm surprised. I've tried to spread the word out about this band, The Watch. A lot of people, hardcore progressive music people, know them. They like their stuff. And then there's the hardcore Genesis fans who say, well, they sound like Genesis, and there's already a Genesis. And there's already, in the U.S. at least, several Genesis tribute bands, and Spain and Mexico and the U.K., everywhere there are Genesis tribute bands. But the Watch are unique in a way where they write their own music inspired by and influenced by, and yes, it sounds like, by Primitive. In 2007, Ettore Salati performed the guitar work on the two previous albums, now seems to be a constant member. Fabio Mancini is credited with piano, organ, synthesizers, and mellotron. This is Primitive from 2007. It's quite good. If you pick it up or look at it, say, there's only 7 songs. But, like I was talking about Moon Safari, the last show, these 7 songs are long. So, you'll enjoy them if you like Genesis. Now, Primitive, where are you? Yes, Primitive appears to be a quieter record than Vacuum. Still, the songs are long, 2 at 6 minutes, 1 at 8, 2 at nearly 10. But quieter doesn't necessarily mean less good or interesting. Rossetti, also besides singing, now plays the flute, moog, and mellotron. And quite frankly, it's a real treat for lovers of progressive music who enjoy keyboard sounds of the mellotron and moog and synthesizers to hear that they're still doing their thing. And this is from a nice insert. And it's all in English, by the way. That was Planet Earth from The Watch. So it was Primitive I was speaking of. Planet Earth is the next one. Sorry. Planet Earth, released in 2010. Primitive, released in 2007. It's hard to keep track of all this. So Planet Earth from 2010 saw another lineup change with Giorgio Gabriel, now on guitars, and Valerio Del Vittorio on keyboards. John Hackett, brother of Genesis guitarist Steve, guests on one song on flute. It's another good one, Planet Earth. Sorry, don't mean to confuse you. It's confusing as it is. So while all the previous albums show off a serious and obvious Genesis influence in all the original songs, they also toured as a strictly Genesis cover band, sometimes doing full Genesis albums in their sets. I'm sure this might have been a little confusing to the unaware, expecting to hear original music by The Watch, and if they weren't paying attention, seeing that, oh, it's a Genesis show. It's not a bad thing. 1 year later, in 2011's Timeless, features pretty much the same band as Planet Earth, but this album does contain Genesis covers. Mixing originals and Genesis covers continued with 2014's tracks from the Alps, of which I've been able to locate. But they're it's quite good. I just have to say, what's interesting, and there's a live song as a bonus track from the Blue Show, whatever that was, from 2010. I guess they decided on one of their Watch albums, Timeless, for example, to actually do their Genesis songs, and mix it up with some of their original stuff and their take on Genesis. So, but Timeless is a fun one. If you want to hear what it is about the Watch might be of interest to you, you could check that one out. 7 from 2017 adds some Fish era Marillion type sounds. And yes, I could hear Fish in the vocals. That's Simone Rossetti again. But the music kind of resembles post-Fish Hogarth era sounds. So, of course, Genesis is the heaviest influence in their sound. Steve Hackett guests on one song on acoustic guitar, which is interesting. And that's 7. Very interesting album. So they're trying to do something a little different here by, they used to cover Marillion, post-Fish era Marillion, so the latter-day Marillion stuff, as well as Genesis before they released any music. And so here what they're doing is they are doing more of that here, their original songs, but it sounds like, because Rossetti's vocal timbre is closer to Fish and Gabriel than it is to Hogarth, who's a baritone. Now, The Art of Bleeding, which I have on vinyl and I didn't dig out, is released in 2021. It's a red album cover. It doesn't move out of that 70, 77 era Genesis influence much, but if you love keyboards, Hammond, Moog, Mellotron, synthesizers, and a singer whose voice resembles Peter Gabriel. It's more of the same. Now, Simone Rossetti may not be doing something drastic. There's a number of prog, or what's being called neo-prog bands with singers that sound like Gabriel, or John Anderson for that matter. Bernardo Lanzetti, formerly of Aquafragile and PFM, was noted to have a Gabriel-like voice. But while it's quite good, his range is higher and octavely different. So, today, I mentioned the watch, I discussed the watch, and none of, all of the stuff is good. Personal preferences are vacuum and primitive, planet Earth. Newbies, I would recommend Timeless. 7 is quite good for those people who dig that Marillion Genesis kind of mashup. So, this is the watch. And actually, on Steve Rothery's Live in Rome, released about a year or so ago, and he was doing a tour for his solo album, and Simone Rossetti actually guested with the band, and they were doing some Marillion covers, so that's pretty cool. So anyway, I would love to see them live. I understand they used to tour more in America in the past. I did not see any of those shows. It'd be nice to see the band live. Genesis fans, show the watch some love. Check them out on YouTube. I'm sure there's stuff out there. I highly recommend them. And yes, if I find music that I feel I must discuss and it's not great, I'll be honest. But no, this band's good. Have a great day. Come back for more.